Hi everyone, this is Rakesh from 32 Degree Studio. Today's topic is different type of chocolates and the compound and where do we stand with them. Now, what are the different types of chocolate? You have mostly heard of dark milk and white chocolate. And then we have this couverture, or we call in French is couverture. Couverture, or we normally call in other mostly countries couverture. So basically, what is the difference between the chocolate and the couverture and the compound? First of all, if you look at the chocolate, so chocolate is largely 32% fat, which is cocoa butter, and then we have the divisions like dark milk and white, and we also sometimes term them as unsweetened, sweetened, bittersweet, and the sweet chocolates. So how do we classify them? Basically, different countries and their FDA they have different norms, and mostly the US and the Indian standards they are somewhat same. But the European standards may differ in terms of how they classify these chocolates. Now, the difference between the chocolate and the couverture is mandatory. The couverture has to have 32 to 39% of cocoa butter. So it means the chocolate and couverture, the difference being the fat is higher in couverture. That's why they are more silky, they are more smooth. So you have a richer experience with them and they are ultra smooth to your palate. And when it comes to, there is another category introduced by the FSSI, which is composite chocolate. Composite chocolate is, they are calling it a composite if it has 60% of chocolate or 40% maybe anything nuts or other fillings. Now, across the globe, there is nothing called composite. I think this is introduced by the Indian FSSI. So a lot of imports when they were calling chocolates from abroad to India, they faced this problem because the consignments were rejected because either it has to be chocolate or composite, or it clearly says compound. So because in foreign, the other FDAs they allow 5% of vegetable fat in the chocolate also, but Indian FSSI states if it is a chocolate, it has to be purely cocoa butter. So that's why that little bit of controversy happened over there, and a lot of chocolates were stopped coming to India. Now, compounds. So a lot of people they ask me this question: then why compounds are existing if we are not allowed to make chocolate? See, first we need to understand it's not being allowed and not allowed. The point is what it is meant for. Compounds they were meant for coatings. I mean, and still they're meant for coating. I mean, the wafer coatings, the biscuit coatings, or the ice cream coatings, or any other type of coating which is happening on the surface. But slowly we started using them to make chocolate pieces, which they are not meant for. And because of the cost factor, a lot of people they justify it's cheap to make, so it is like chocolates, but it's like it looks like chocolate, it's not chocolate because the whole experience is lost when you make it with the compound and the vegetable fat because it is more stable at the room temperature, and a lot of misconception is because compound is more stable at the room temperature or the higher temperatures, of course it will be because it's the nature of the fat. But cocoa butter being the real ingredient that which gives the real experience on your palate, that is if that is missing it's not a chocolate, and that definition was corrected by Indian FSSI also, but it may not be enforced very strictly in India as of now. I mean, I still see a lot of manufacturers they manufacture with the compound and they call it chocolate. So that's a little bit of a miscommunication out there. So we need to be watchful when you read the labels. So you have to check what is compound, what is composite, and what is chocolate, and what is couverture. So, and there is another category also which we have most of you may not heard of it. It is cooking and the baking chocolate. So cooking of the baking chocolate is a chocolate which is high in cocoa percentage, which is the cocoa mass, not the cocoa butter. So mostly and largely it is unsweetened chocolate, which is meant to be used in your cakes or bakes or in caramels. So the idea over there is a less sugar, so that the sugar of your recipe is not disturbed, and the less fat, so that the fat of your recipe is not disturbed. So that's why they are known as a cooking and the baking chocolate. But even that has been changed over the past years in different countries, and even today we have sweetened baking chocolate, we have unsweetened, and we have the middle category also. So it all depends on the country to country and how they are defining the new things. But these are the broadly major categories of the chocolates and the compounds and the cooking and the non-cooking. So essentially, what we need to look for when we are working with the chocolate is the real cocoa butter. That is the real content of the chocolate. So that is what you are supposed to use to make chocolates or your ganaches, not the compounds. But that's a different story that we want to work with it. So that's a very personal choice how you want to work with the compound, or you want to work with the compound or the chocolates. I hope the difference is clear. Thanks. Bye.